Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about recent announcement that has been made by the Ministry of Finance of India is to bring the cryptocurrencies under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, also called as PMLA. So in this particular video, we are going to discuss in details what does this particular decision means, how it is going to impact the cryptocurrency market, and what are the positives, negatives, and criticism around this particular decision. So first of all, to give you the background of this particular issue, so Finance Ministry has brought in virtual digital assets, also called as VDA in the short, which also include cryptocurrencies under the money laundering provisions. The Finance Ministry has recently published a notification, and as per this notification, it has clearly stated that any transaction that involves the exchange, transfer, or the safekeeping of the crypto assets will fall under the PMLA Act. PMLA Act, thus, the coverage of this act is said to widen the taxation and regulatory need and also covers the exchanges between the virtual digital assets as well as the fiat currencies. Now, the fiat currencies here refers to the general currencies that is generally used by the public and is considered as a legal tender by the Government of India and generally published by the Reserve Bank of India. So as we have discussed, the Finance Ministry has brought the VDA under the PMLA Act. So what is VDA or what is the virtual digital assets as far as the government is concerned? So if you take a look at the Income Tax Act, in this particular act, it is clearly stated that virtual digital assets refer to any information, code, number, or token which may or may not be the Indian currency or foreign currency. However, if these are generated through the cryptographic means or otherwise can be called by whatever name will come under the definition of virtual digital assets. So in other words, what we can say that all the kind of cryptocurrency that exist in the market, including the largest one, Bitcoins, Dogecoin, or other different coins, will come under the virtual digital assets. And apart from that, any other cryptocurrencies, not even cryptocurrencies, any other kind of assets that is basically being generated by the cryptographic means can be categorized as a VDA. Now let us take a look at what exactly the notification tells us all about. So in the notification, it has been clearly mentioned that the central government hereby notifies that the following activities, when it is carried out for or on the behalf of another natural or legal person in the course of business as an activity for the purpose of said subclause. And what are these subclauses? What are these activities that Finance Ministry is referring to? So first of all, it is the exchange. Now, exchange between virtual digital assets and the fiat currency. For example, if an individual A is involved in selling of Indian currency note and in exchange is obtaining bitcoins, for example, then this will be considered as this particular first step, first provision, that is exchange. So this kind of transactions will obviously be coming under the PMLA now. Second, exchange between one or more forms of virtual digital assets. That means, for example, if a person A is basically sending Bitcoin to a person B, and in exchange, if it is receiving another kind of transaction, another kind of cryptocurrencies, then that will also come under this particular ambit. And third is the transfer of virtual digital assets will also come under the category of this particular PMLA. Now, if we try to understand about this, that what is the rationale behind this particular decision to bring these digital assets, virtual digital assets under the under the PML Act. So first of all, it will aid the investigative agencies in carrying out their actions against crypto companies, because right now investigating agencies such as enforcement directorates are there, Central Bureau of Investigations are there, though they are involved in the looking into the matters of money laundering by help of cryptocurrencies, they are not working under any particular legislative umbrella, any specific legislative umbrella. So that is something that is going to change. Second, multiple cases already are opened against many companies such as Kuwait Switch. We have Kuwait Switch, CoinDCX, and who are running cryptocurrency exchanges and also unlawful transactions. And many government agencies are looking into these matters. So it will also become more seamless to basically, we can say, investigate these kind of irregularities. And third, ED and income tax department, who are already probing several such cases, will be helped by PMLA Act. Now, what is cryptocurrency and money laundering relationship? If you try to understand that, so basically, once cryptocurrency boomed, or we can say once the number of people involved in cryptocurrency exchange become very higher, there has been an inherent risk of money laundering, as clearly stated by the Reserve Bank of India and other regulators of different countries as well. And the reason why cryptocurrency can be used easily for money laundering is because a large part of the transaction, cryptocurrency transaction, takes place in the dark web or dark market, which is a part of internet which is not basically open to investigation, and something this is something that is very difficult for the investigating agencies to trace into. Second problem is that since there is no regulatory authorities for cryptocurrency, for example, in India, Reserve Bank of India basically regulates entire banking system. Security Exchange Board of India regulates entire the stock exchange system. So no such regulatory authority is there in the cryptocurrency market, and thus it is easier to trade between countries and send money via the cryptocurrencies. Third, since the transaction itself is of highly encrypted nature, it cannot be traced easily. And also, as the market capitalization of these bitcoins and the cryptocurrencies are growing, for example, if you talk about Bitcoin, it has a market capitalization of almost $350 billion. So, due to this, obviously, the inherent risk of money laundering has become quite higher. However, several decisions or several actions government has taken in this regard as well. First, for example, in the last year in Union Budget itself, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has announced that government will start taxing the cryptocurrencies or the or profits from the cryptocurrencies, and 30% income tax gains that has been made from cryptocurrency will be taxed on. Third, Reserve Bank of India obviously was very much wary about the wary about the wide scale use or large scale use of cryptocurrencies, and thus it has expressed its concern to government earlier and even proposed a blanket ban on such currencies in India. However, government has basically said that this is not possible, and why it is not possible. So, Finance Minister has clearly said that there is a need of international collaboration for any effective regulation, or even if you want to ban certain cryptocurrencies, because the digital currency, the most important nature of digital currency is that it is borderless in nature. That means for transaction to take place from one country to another country, we not need to physically transfer some assets, physically transfer the currency notes. Just in the digital form, it can be transferred, and that is why without any international collaboration between different regulatory agencies, basically regulation or ban will be largely ineffective in nature. So, what are the concerns related to this particular decision of Finance Ministry to bring the cryptocurrencies or virtual digital assets under the if this Prevention of Money Laundering Act? So, first of all, the concern is that notification which has come, it does not offer entities any significant transition time to make their model in such a manner that now they can become more open and more, we can say, information sharing can be more open and transparent in nature, especially with the financial authorities of the government. Second, there is the absence of central regulator, as we discussed before, like RBI for the banks. And due to the absence of central regulator, now any problem that these cryptocurrency exchanges can face, they basically will have to deal directly with the government agencies such as Enforcement Directorate and Central Bureau of Investigation, which can basically be a kind of create difficulty in the overall operation of the crypto exchanges. Third, crypto entities could end up, as we discussed, dealing directly with enforcement agencies like the ED, and that is something that they want to avoid. So these are some concerns that has been expressed by the crypto exchanges and the stakeholders. However, if you look at the overall reaction of the entire crypto industry, so they have basically welcomed the decision, and the reason is very simple, because many crypto exchanges, in the honor of crypto exchanges, cryptocurrency exchanges, they basically were willing to have a certain sort of channel that can help them in sharing data with the FIUIND, that is Financial Intelligence Unit of India, so that they can be sure that whatever activities they are getting involved themselves with is basically not illegal, is open, transparent, and thus any problems that they can face in the future can obviously be minimized if already they are able to share the data voluntarily. Third, if we talk about the virtual digital assets, handling customer funds will have to take care of PMLA laws as much as banks do and report suspicious transactions. So thus, overall, we can say a large part of the financial system that was outside the regulatory umbrella of government of India will be slightly brought under voluntarily, because they'll have to declare any kind of suspicious transaction to the government authority under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. However, unlike banks, the VD exchanges have been relying on best practices to make sure that these are taken care of. Obviously, because there is no regulator, there are no guidelines that this cryptocurrency exchanges are getting from any organization, and that is why they are following the best practices to make sure that the activities they are involved in basically is not illegal. So that is overall reaction. And in last, we talk about the significance of this particular move of the finance ministry. So obviously, the Indian lawmakers obviously have had a checkered history of accepting the growing reality of cryptocurrencies, because as we have discussed few minutes back, RBI itself has asked to have a ban in the cryptocurrencies to government of India. However, in the last year, as the income in cryptocurrencies and income from cryptocurrencies has been brought under the income tax umbrella, and also the current move of bringing activities involved in cryptos within the scope of anti-money laundering law, it basically shows the intent of lawmakers, shows the intent of government of India, that they are not willing to have a complete ban over this class of asset, but rather they are willing to regulate it and bring it under certain sort of regulation, certain sort of ambit of the act. And thus, the crypto exchanges will feel the full weight of compliance and record keeping requirements under the PMLA. And that is a positive sign, because it will help in a healthy growth of cryptocurrency related market in India. So what we can say basically in conclusion, that as we know that in the near future, it is expected all across the world, including India, that use of crypto will keep on growing. And thus this move of the finance ministry basically aligns with the global standard, the global system of increasing the compliance expectations from crypto exchanges, to add a layer of accountability and to prevent questionable transactions. So obviously this is a step in the right direction. And that is overall, I hope you understood about the overall issue of this cryptocurrency and how it has been brought under PML Act. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such helpful content. Thank you very much.